What's up, everybody? Gil Daddy here again with another really quick short video. I had a lot of response on the video I posted about listing a certain amount of items each day on eBay in order to increase your sales. It was a video where we were Pokemon hunting, or is it Pokemon hunting? I don't know. We always say Pokemon, so maybe we're saying it wrong. I don't know. Anyways, so I wanted to do a little video for the eBay people out there, because I know there's so many of you out there that still do eBay, and that's great. I mean, especially if you guys are doing it full time. You've gotten away from the whole real job thing, and you're following your dreams, and that's awesome. But I know there's still a lot of people out there that are struggling with it, and people that are just, their sales aren't there yet. Their sales are slow, or they just can't get past $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month. Like I was saying on the other video, it really is simple. It's simple, but it is challenging if you're not used to doing it. Having a certain amount of things that you list each day definitely helps. And like I was saying, it has to be the right types of items. I mean, you have to be at least averaging $20 a sale. If you don't know what your average selling price is on your items, and you have no clue how many items you're listing a day, how many items you're listing a month, how much money in items you're listing a week, then it's going to be really hard for you to hit these numbers. So first thing you got to do is you have to go in and look at your listings, see how many listings you're listing a week, see how many listings you're listing a day, see how many listings you're listing a month. What is your average selling price for these items? Realistically, you should be sitting somewhere between $25 and $30 average selling price. I always say 20 because I always like to look at the worst case scenario, but realistically you should be around 25 to 30, and if you're above that, kudos. I mean, that's even better. Now, a lot of you guys that follow my channel, you know that I don't do eBay anymore, but I did master it. I truly believe that I mastered it for what I was selling. I know I wasn't selling, $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month or any kind of like the numbers I'm doing now on Amazon, with the private label stuff. But, to be able to go out and not have a real job and, profit each month, $6,000, $7,000 a month just from going to yard sales and thrift stores, I think was pretty good. I think that's a pretty good living, and I think most people can live on that. So I truly believe, as far as thrifting and yard sales and just getting junk like what you see behind me, electronics and things like that, to sell on eBay and make that kind of money, I think is pretty good. And I think that anybody can do it. I really believe that. Now, what I want people to understand is there's so many of you guys out there that make excuses. And it frustrates me, because I know that's what's hurting you. I was listening to an audio book the other day, and it was talking about that. It was talking about how people that don't take responsibility for things that are happening in their lives are never going to be successful, ever. People that always blame outside things. They blame other people. They blame circumstances. They blame eBay. They blame customers. They blame not having enough time. They blame, I have 3 kids. I have 5 kids, though. I have this. I have that. People that do that are never going to be successful. So if you're one of those people, you need to knock that crap off. The first thing you have to do is take responsibility for what's happening. You know why? Because people that say, well, I can't get over $2,000 a month in sales selling used stuff from the thrift stores because of my situation or my circumstances. Because I have 5 kids I have to take care of. Because of whatever your reason is. Outside circumstances can be changed. Outside circumstances can definitely be changed. And you know what? There's people out there with more kids than you, less time than you, less resources than you, that are making more money than you. And if somebody else is doing it, you can do it too. So if you're a complainer and you'd like to blame everything, and every time you get a return on eBay or something like that, it ruins your whole day, and you go online, you complain about it, and you talk about how things are slow, and you talk about how your circumstances are preventing you from doing it, you're trying to give yourself a pass. And you know what? It's hard to be successful if you're not taking responsibility. If you don't sit around and go, it's my fault. It's my fault my sales are down. It's my fault that I'm not listing enough. It's my fault that I'm not managing my time correctly. It's my fault that I don't do my eBay when I put my kids to bed at night, or whatever the reason is. If you do that, then you're going to be a lot more likely to take action, to actually fix those things that's preventing you from making those sales. So that's all mindset, right? That's all mindset. And in any book you read, always talks about you need to take responsibility for your successes and also for your failures. I always take responsibility for my failures and for my triumphs. If I make a bad decision in my business and it costs me money, then I go, wow, that was a mistake. What did I do wrong? I don't go, wow, that was a mistake. I didn't have the right information. Wow, that was a mistake. Well, this app sucks. Well, Amazon just sucks. Well, I have some really bad competitors and they're just ruthless. No, I take responsibility. I look at the situation and I say, what am I doing wrong? Why did I fail? What did I not do? What did I do right? What did I not do right? That's the basic first steps, right, to being successful on anywhere in your life, whether it's fitness, your health, your family, your relationships, or your eBay business, or maybe your Amazon business. You have to take responsibility. So now let's get down to the meat and potatoes. What do you need to do to make your eBay sales go up? What do you need to do to be successful? Well, I already told you in the other video that you have to list, I say 15 items a day, but if there's 2 of you, list 30 items a day. That's definitely a good goal to keep. And not many of you guys that watch that video are going, all right, GillDaddy's got a real good point. I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to do it for the next 30 days. No, most of you guys didn't do that, but some of you did. There was some comments on that video that were like, I'm doing it starting right now. And they're actually keeping a tally every day. They're not stopping until they're hitting those 15 or 20 or 25. I mean, heck, if you want to be a go-getter, list 25 items a day or 20 items a day, and do it for 30 days, and take the weekends off. Do it 5 days a week. That's a lot of items a month. I mean, I always tell people, if you're not listing 800 items a month, I mean, these types of items, then you're not going to see a lot of money come in. You're going to see a little bit of money come in. And maybe you're happy with that. Some of you guys are doing it part-time and you just do it whenever you feel like it, and that's fine. But for those of you that want to make a full-time living on eBay or Amazon or anything, you have to set a goal each day. You set a large goal for the month. If you want to make $10,000 a month, then I tell people list 20 to 25 items a day, have an average selling price of $20, and you'll hit right around $9,000, $10,000 a month with, of course, these kinds of items. I'm not talking about clothing or plush. I mean, that's a whole another animal. Like one person said in there, they said, what about clothing? I'm thinking about getting into clothing. Well, it's some different numbers there. So why does this work? Well, it's not rocket science. I get messages from people that are like, well, GillDaddy, you're right. I started listing more, and guess what? I'm selling more. This is amazing. And I'm just like, duh. You list more, you sell more. You're telling me that works? Holy shit. But it's hard to grasp, right? Some people are like, I'm just gonna list 1 day a week, or maybe you're relisting and you're counting that as your 15 items a day or 20 items a day or 30 items a day. That's not going to work for you guys. I'm telling you right now, don't count your relist. That's cheating, okay? Because that does not work. You're relisting an item because it didn't sell, first of all. If you're just hitting that relist button on eBay, then eBay remembers that item sucks, so you're not going to show up as much for it. If you're doing it the right way, which is listing it as a new item and maybe changing a word in your title so eBay sees it as a new item, then you're a little better off. But you still cannot count on that because you know why? It didn't sell the first time, so it's a slower moving item. Don't count that as your 15 items, okay? Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. You're cheating yourself. But another reason why this works, okay, is because I actually got this from an eBay representative that said when you're listing every day, you show up more in the best, the best match search results, okay? So if you're more active on your account, now see, a lot of you I see in Facebook groups and stuff will say, you got to constantly be listing because, if it seems like when I'm more active, even the older stuff that's been sitting around longer starts selling. And the reason for that is because when you're more active, eBay sees you're more active. When you're selling more items, eBay sees you as a seller that sells more items. So they're going to show your items more. Why? Because eBay is trying to make money for themselves, right? eBay is trying to show the items that are going to sell because the more items that sell, the more money eBay makes. Makes sense, right? So if you're listing once a week, you're not that active. Of course, you're going to sell less items. So eBay is going to hide your listings. Like some of you actually spend time doing this crap. And I got to tell you, I never did that, right? I never tried to go and try to find my items and call my friend in Kentucky and be like, search this keyword and see if my item's coming up. And then I go in the Facebook group and go, guess what? I searched over here and I searched over there. It's true. eBay's blacking out our items. They're hiding them. Oh my God. Okay, for one, you just spent how much of your day focusing on something you have absolutely no control over? Don't do that, guys. Don't worry about if your item's showing up or not. Just list, okay? Because you can't change it. What are you going to do? Call them and say, my friend in Kentucky says he can't see my item. No, you're not. What are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you that blackouts do exist if you get the right representative. They do. They do show your item to certain locations, things like that. But also, if you're more active, they're going to show your items more and you're going to sell more, okay? They're going to put your items closer up to the top of the search results. So what does that mean for everybody? That means that the more you sell, the more you sell. You know, the more you list, the more you sell, and the more you sell, the more you keep selling. It's a big snowball effect. You guys need to constantly list your items every single day. You need to keep a goal, right? If you work for somebody else, you would have a certain goal. I don't care if you stock shelves at Walmart, right? You have a certain amount of pallets that you got to get done in a certain amount of time, right? You don't just go to work and just go, I don't think I'm going to stock these shelves tonight. I'll just do these 3 and I'll leave that one. No, you have a job. You have a job to do, and they require you to get a certain amount of work done in a certain amount of time. And that's the way you have to run your eBay business or your Amazon business. You have a certain amount of work that you have to do in a certain amount of time. And you need to track it. You need to keep track how much you're listing. You need to keep track of what your average selling price is, because if your average selling price is $10 or $15, then guess what? You need to stop buying those cheap, inexpensive selling items. You need to start focusing more on higher dollar items. If your average selling price is $30 an item, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep getting those same kind of items. But you may find that you need to trim the fat a little bit. All this stuff is super simple. It's not rocket science, guys. And I think a lot of people they really think there's this magical, super complicated thing that people know or people do that is making them the money. And really, all it is work ethic. That's it. They just know how to work, and you don't. And that's why they make the money and you don't. Now, a lot of people are looking at the stuff behind me and they're going, I thought you weren't doing eBay anymore, Gil Daddy. That sure as hell looks like eBay and Amazon stuff behind you. Look at those vacuum cleaner hoses. This is actually my brother-in-law's stuff here because, of course, if you guys watch my videos, you know that I share a warehouse with my brother-in-law and my mother because they still do eBay. And this is a lot of his eBay stuff. And, you know, I've been telling him this stuff for I don't know how long. And to be honest with you, in the last 4 or 5 months, he actually started listening to what I was saying, which is list so many items a day. List, you know, keep a schedule. And so he started doing that, and then guess what? His sales doubled. Okay, his sales doubled. And he's on a schedule now, so he's happier. He's making more money, so he's happier. And things are just going great for him. I'll tell you another strategy that works really, really well, that if your items are, I guess, lower, if your average selling price is very low, then you may need to look at doing a certain dollar amount per week rather than a certain amount of items per day. So all you have to do is list between $1,800 and $2,000 a week minimum, okay, in inventory onto eBay. List that much. So basically you're going to break that down by day, and you're going to list about, you know, $380, $370 to $400 a day in inventory every single day for 5 days a week. And that's a really good way if you're the type of person that gets a lot of the smaller items. Now, if you get a lot of smaller items, that's going to be really hard because you're actually doing more work. A while back ago, I had this guy that maybe he's watching this video, I don't know, but he started harassing me saying I was full of crap. There's no way I could sell $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 a month on eBay, selling yard sale and thrift store stuff. that he had been doing this for years and years and years, and the most he's ever done is 6,000 or something like that. And he said he works his ass off, and it was him and his wife. Well, eventually I found his eBay store and I looked at it, and I seen the reason why he said it was impossible. This guy was selling a lot of $8, $9, $10, $11, $12, $15 items. I would say 85 to 90% of his merchandise for sale in his store was $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 items. His average selling price for a particular month was like $13 or $14 per item. Well, the reason why he's working his ass off is because he's listing all this small crap. So if you're one of those people and you're going, man, I work my ass off, I list 50 items a day, and I cannot break $6,000 or $5,000, then you're probably listing very small things. And some people have a hard time passing up those items that they can pay a quarter for and sell for $10. But what you're not taking into consideration is the amount of time that you are putting into picturing, shipping, and listing those things, possibly testing those things or cleaning those things. And that quarter item now has cost you a lot more than a quarter. It's cost you $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, and you're probably breaking even by the time you factor in your time that it takes to work on that item. Now, the beautiful thing about eBay is I know that if I was ever down and out, if I ever wasn't making enough money anywhere else, if I was ever lost everything, that I could seriously pick up right now, go back out there, and easily make $60,000, $70,000 a year on eBay. It's a skill. It's a skill that you always have, that you always be able to do, especially if you got a smartphone with you, right? I mean, that's pretty much cheating. So I want all of you guys to be successful, and I'm challenging every one of you to try this. I'm challenging every one of you to list 15 to 30 items a day, depending if it's one person or two of you, okay? Keep track of that. Do it 5 days a week. If you're a badass, do it 6 days a week, okay? And if you're an overachiever, do more than that. But I'd say at least 15 to 20 items a day, at least 5 days a week. If you also send stuff into Amazon FBA, take one of those days and send in a shipment every single week into Amazon FBA, okay? So do that for 30 days, and I wanna see, you know, I wanna see in the Facebook group, I wanna see some of you put some comments in below this video and tell me your results. I know in the last video when I talked about this, there was somebody that said that they had just started doing it. They said one day they listed their things and they sold 4 items immediately, and they were like, wow. And that's what happens. When you keep listing like that, eBay's going to like you more. Your items are going to get seen more, and you're going to make more money. So I'm going to get back to work because I came down to the warehouse to work, and then I thought, you know what? I'm going to make a little video for all you guys, for all you eBayers out there, and hopefully it helps you guys. So I love hearing your guys' stories, and it makes me feel really, really good to know that me making a video once in a while can make a difference in somebody's life out there financially, and give you guys more time with your family and give you guys a better life. So anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. I've rambled a lot this video, and I really got to get to work. So, bye.